Hey everybody, this is Kwa. I am going to provide a training video for you today on something that is going to be very important to you and very necessary for you to know if you're going to become an internet marketer. If you have anything to do with the internet, if you want to become a blogger, if you want to be noticed online in any way, shape, or form, you need to know what I'm going to teach you today. And it is called SEO. What is SEO? SEO is search engine optimization. All right. So actually, let me okay. So I'm gonna use a PowerPoint slide because there's a lot of information here that I want to talk about, and I don't want to miss anything that is going to be important to you. So I made all these notes so that I will remember everything. I'm not a big fan of this, I'm not a big fan of PowerPoint. I don't really enjoy using it myself because they tend to be really boring. Again, this information is critical, so I'm making an exception to my anti-PowerPoint position today. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. Okay, and essentially what it is that it's what you do on your blog post and behind the scenes of your blog post to ensure that your blog post gets ranked as high as possible. And the ideal position, of course, is the first page of the search engine results page. Okay, when you do a Google search or you do a Bing search or you do a Yahoo search, any type of search, and by the way, I'm going to be mostly talking about Google in this video because they do control 80% of the search traffic. So if you don't know how to please Google, then you're wasting your time. So basically, one of the first concepts I want you to understand is this. There's a difference between a blog post and a blog, okay? A blog or a domain, okay? Say, for instance, Yahoo, CNN.com is a domain. And for purposes of illustrating this example, say if CNN.com was a blog, then that would be its title, CNN.com. Most people, they make the mistake of trying to rank the domain, okay, or try to get the domain on search engines, and that's the mistake, because that's not how search engines work. Okay, they don't really care about the domain except for limited purposes. They're not ranking the domain itself, they're ranking the pages within the domain. Going back to my example of CNN.com, for instance, if CNN wrote a story about puppies, okay, let's get silly here, and that page is on, it's entitled puppies, then it would be a blog post called CNN.com/puppies. All right, that is what the search engines are displaying when you do a search. Okay, they're not necessarily displaying CNN.com, they're displaying CNN.com/puppies. Okay, so that's the difference. And once that's very fundamental, and if you understand that aspect, then you're going to be better off and not try to rank for your blog and start ranking blog posts. Okay, and then my final point here is that if you're not on the first page of the search engine result page, you don't exist. Okay, in fact, I would say that if you're not in the top 5, you don't really exist, because most people, when they're doing searches, they don't really go beyond the first page. I mean, rarely do they ever go beyond the first page. Most of the time, they'll find what they're looking for on the first page, but if not, then they'll just do another search. Okay, I mean, just think about your own habits. I rarely go on the first page unless it's something really esoteric and difficult and hard to find. But generally, if you're not on the first page, not on the top 5, then you don't exist. I mean, by way of example, I mean, most people, like the top position, like 60% of the people click onto that. Of searchers click on the first thing that's displayed by Google. So, and then it gets worse from there. Anyway, going to how does Google rank pages? All right. They have a top secret algorithm, all right, that they have tweaked and tuned, and you probably heard about all the different Google updates that they've done. And they have, in the last 2 years, I think they put out at least 4 major updates in the way that they rank pages. And the reason why they do that is to ensure that their search engine results are the product of a relevant page as opposed to manipulation. Okay, because people have been manipulating search engine results with tricks and and black hat stuff, and so Google has been clamping down on this, and so that's why they've been updating, and they're going to continue to update. In fact, their promise is that they will continue to update their algorithm so that in order to eliminate all kinds of chicanery or tricksting or tricking people or black hat stuff. And to a certain extent, it's worked. Okay. But anyway, some of the factors here are the age of the domain. That's how long that you've been that your domain has existed, and the age of the domain depends not on when you first purchased the domain, but actually on when you first had a page that has been indexed by Google. Okay, they measure the age from that. Okay, so your domain, you could have had it for 2 years, it doesn't really matter, but unless you have a page that's been indexed for Google, then that domain has not existed for 2 years. Popularity, and I will talk about this in another post, but basically in another video, but popularity depends on social signals and also backlinks. Okay, the number of posts on your topic, so Google can determine what type of blog or what kind of website that you have based upon the number of posts on a particular topic. So if you are writing on basket weaving and you have 10 topics, 10 posts on that topic, then Google can kind of tell that, hey, when someone's looking for information on basket weaving, then this blog or this website should be the place that they want to go to. Name the domain. For instance, if it's basketweaving.com, then of course that's a good indicator for Google to know that that's the type of topic that you're going to be focused on. Your Google's history of the domain. Okay, and what I mean by that is that if you are a type of person who in the past has used these black hat tactics or strategies to get ranked, and Google is aware of them, and they have indexed you, or they punish you in some way, or they sandbox you, they call it sandboxing, then Google is not going to, they're going to not give you the benefit of the doubt, so to speak. They're going to be wary of what you are offering now because they've had problems with you in the past. And of course, keywords, which I'm going to talk about today. That's really the focus of my video is keywords. All right. Okay. And and here, why SEO? I mean, of course, traffic. Okay. If you're going to have a blog, then you need traffic. And this is one of the ways in which you can create traffic. Unless you are one of those people who just want to write and you just want to have 3 people read it. All right. I mean, if that's you, fine. Then you're probably not want to listen to me, or you probably don't want to be learning anything I have to offer because you're not my target audience. I mean, if you're just a hobbyist, then I can't really help you. Something that for you to consider is that content is not king. I mean, you've probably heard that phrase a lot. Content is not king. Okay, optimization is king, because I've seen this a lot. I've seen people write beautiful, long, extraordinary blog posts. Okay, and then I think about what they wrote and how much time they spent on this, and I kind of get sad about it because unless it goes viral, it will never be read by anyone. No one will find it because I can tell from reading this that from whatever they wrote that it's not optimized. Okay, so basically, as beautiful as it is, Google will never index it. Google would have no idea what to do with it. Okay, so unless it's been shared by other people on a regular basis, then no one else will read it. Okay, because it's not going to show up on a Google search. All right, and then and then my last point is that if you write something crappy and you optimize it, you actually have a better chance of getting found by Google than if you wrote something really extraordinary and didn't optimize it. All right, there are two types of SEO, search engine optimization, and the first one I'm going to talk about today, focus on, is on-page. Okay, on-page is basically the way that you organize your post so that Google will recognize what you're writing about. Okay, there's a trick to that. Okay, and you may be wondering, when you do a search yourself, how does Google know what you're searching about and what you're looking for and how to find it and how it's indexed? Well, the answer is this. The answer is on-page optimization. Okay, Google recognizes the topic of your blog post by the way that you organize your keywords. And I will talk about this in depth soon. And off-page is backlinks. That's not going to be something I'm going to talk about today, but that's another way in which you can optimize for search engines. Okay. All right. Before we begin, let's talk about black hat and white hat. You might have heard those terms used if you have begun searching for how to become better at search engine optimization. I mean, I'm sure that you've been doing Google searches on this topic, and you might have heard the term black hat, white hat. Black hat is just what I talked about before, strategies and tactics and techniques that Google finds offensive. They think it's manipulative, they think it's wrong, they think it's just a way for you to get ranked without really providing relevant content. And and I don't want to talk about these strategies because I don't want you to be using any of these strategies, because it's going to hurt you in the long term, in the long run. White hat is what people are basically tactics that Google has approved. Okay, and on-page optimization, which is today's topic, is specifically something that Google has approved and they have given their blessings. But having said that, I want you to understand something, that Google doesn't really like any type of attempt to manipulate their algorithm. Okay, and once you have a pretty good idea of how the algorithm works, you can manipulate it, and Google doesn't like that. So use these strategies with caution. All right, don't overdo them. Okay, basically, if you stick to what I'm going to show you, then you will be okay. All right, you're going to be in the white hat camp, and you're going to be on Google's good list. So with no further ado, let's begin. All right. So how does Google find pages? Okay. How do they know to match when someone is searching for something and with the blog or the web page? Okay. The answer is the keywords. All right. The keywords that are inputted into Google. So basically, what I mean by keywords is that whenever you do a search, you are typing in something. Okay, for instance, if you're searching on, I don't know, basket weaving in Czechoslovakia, or now doesn't exist anymore, but basket weaving in the Czech Republic. That's a key. Those are keywords. Okay, um, so Google remembers all that. Okay, and then what they do is that they organize that in a way where they index it so that they know there's a certain number of searches each month, either in the United States or worldwide, on the particular keywords. So if you, if you go, Google actually counts how many times people have inputted into their search basket weaving in the Czech Republic. Okay, for instance. And by the way, that is a long tail keyword and short tail keyword, and that's a kind of in-depth topic. So I don't want to get into it now because I want you to get a really good understanding of SEO, and I don't want to get off on a tangent because that's something that is very important that I want to talk about in another video. But that's how Google finds these pages. Okay. Or that's how Google, that's the first part. So Google records the type of searches that it gets. And then what it does is that it matches those searches to web pages that are smart enough to know that people are searching for these. Okay. And the way that you know this is that you always begin by using Google's keyword planner. Okay, so this is completely public. This is the great thing, is that Google actually makes this public, what the type of searches that it gets each month. Okay, so, and it is, they actually prepared a tool for you. It's called the keyword planner, and when you use this tool, you will know exactly what people are searching for, what the exact phrasing that they use when they are searching, and also the type of related information that they may be searching for when they're using this keyword. So you will know exactly whether or not this keyword, it has a lot of searches or not a lot of searches. Okay. And for me, what I focus on is that I focus on keywords with, say, for instance, 500 or more searches that don't have a lot of competition. And what I mean by competition is that there's not a lot of websites out there that are trying to rank for this keyword, because you're not the only one who's blogging. Okay, there's a lot of bloggers. There's I don't know, 400 million blogs out there. So you're not the only one doing this. So, likely, you're not the only one ranking for this keyword. So there could be a lot of competition for this keyword or not a lot of competition. For instance, if you, were, a pornographer. Okay, I'm going to take an outlandish example. The keyword pornography is going to be super competitive. Okay, because that's something that a lot of people are going to be searching for, and so there's probably going to be millions, and billions of results for that. So do you really want to, if you want to try to rank for that keyword? Probably not, because you're not gonna be able to get anywhere because there's so many people trying to compete for this keyword. But I'm going to expand on that on another topic, because I don't want to get too far off tangent. Okay, so again, I talked about keyword planner, and if you want to know what it is, what kind of tool it is just Google Google keyword planner, and you have to have a Gmail account to use it. But again, that's free, so don't worry about it. Just sign up for a Gmail account, and then just sign yourself up to the keyword planner, and then you can start using it right away. And again, in another video, I'll explain to you exactly how to use the keyword planner. Okay, the thing that I want you to know, and the thing that's important, is that you need to use this tool each and every time that you are going to write a blog topic, because you need to make sure that before you do anything, like for instance, you create a video, you create a website, a web page, or a blog, post, you want to make sure that somebody's looking for it. All right, so going back to my example of pornography. I mean, yeah, you can bet 100% that people are looking for that. But going back to my topic of basket weaving in the Czech Republic, I mean, probably not a lot of people are looking for that. So if you're writing on that topic, hoping for a lot of traffic, you're gonna be disappointed because again, that is not going to be something that people are searching for a lot. So um, so you're probably not going to get a lot of traffic from that keyword, even if your site is 100% optimized. I bet you there's probably only like maybe 10 searches a month for that, so you're going to get 10 visitors. So you get the point. All right. Here's something that I want you to think about when you are writing a blog post. Okay. And I will probably talk more about this in another topic because again, this is going off on a tangent, is that the keywords, just think about the keyword as a question, because remember that when someone's doing a Google search, they are trying to find an answer to a question. Okay, so your website, your blog post, your YouTube video should be the answer to that question. All right. I mean, I know that I'm getting kind of way off, advanced here, but I'll explain in another video. But that's the thing that you need to kind of start thinking. You need to start thinking about how you can provide value to a Google user. And if you do that, then you're going to be not only going to make your users happy, but you're going to also make Google happy as well. Okay. All right. So here is the meat of the nuts and bolts of my video, on-page SEO. All right. So again, what on-page SEO does is it tells Google what this post and how it is relevant to a keyword search. Okay. Remember I said that Google indexes all searches, so they know, and then they keep a list of this. So basically, what you're doing is then you're telling Google that, hey, listen, I am writing this post, and it is going to match up, and is intended to match up to this particular keyword term that you have indexed. Does that make sense? So you're helping Google because you're telling them that you're matching up their index with your blog post. Okay, so that's what it means. And the way you do that is that the way that Google knows that your post, and obviously you're not telling them directly, you're not calling up Google and say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm matching up, my blog post to this keyword. No, the way that you do that is that you have on-page SEO, and because Google looks for certain things or markers on your page to tell it when its robots and its spider bots are searching and crawling through your page, they are looking for certain things to tell it that, hey, this post is about this keyword. Okay. And of course, the main thing they're looking for, does this post contain the keywords, and how are the word keywords being used? And so I'll give you an example. All right. So this is on-page optimization in a nutshell. All right. When you write a blog post, okay, you must have, or you should have, as many of these components as possible in your post. Okay. And these these things must be in your keyword. Okay, so going back to my example again of basket weaving in the Czech Republic. If that is your intended keyword, then the title of your post should have that keyword in there, or that keyword phrase in there. Okay, that is the first thing that Google looks for to tell it what this blog post is about. Okay, of course, the title. So you don't want to get too cute about titles. I know that, you know, if you're a writer, you like to be clever and cute and really amusing and droll and you know, and or arch or snarky with titles. Okay, not when you're writing a blog post. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is basically be very straightforward and tell Google what it needs to know, that this blog post in the title is basket weaving in the Czech Republic. Okay, that's it. So don't get cute about it. Title, and then you also need to have an image, all right, that actually has the same title as well. Okay, that's called an alt, A-L-T, alt, alt title. Okay, so you know, if there's an image in a blog post, and I recommend that every blog post should have an image. Okay, you know, it is one of those things that you don't want to miss out on. You want to have an image in every single blog post, and that image also should, the title of that image should also contain the keyword phrase that you're trying to rank for. All right, the title, and I'm gonna give you a demonstration, and then of course the headline, then the headlines are just basically subheaders, all right, within your post, and I will demonstrate. I will show you exactly what I mean by that. And of course, you want to have the keywords in the text. Okay, in the body of your post itself, there should be instances of the keywords. I mean, you don't want to plug, you know, your entire post full of keywords, because then what you're doing is that Google calls that keyword stuffing, and that makes them upset. You want to have a you know, an okay, like well, the average is 1 to 2% of your text should be the keywords. So if your article is 100, you know, words, then you probably want to have maybe 1 or 2 keyword phrases within that text. Okay, so to keep within the 1 to 2% rule. I noticed that, you know, when it's anything more than 2%, then Google starts taking notice, and they start to believe that that you're stuffing your posts with keywords. And I've had posts that have gone down, or that have been punished, because there are too many instances of the keywords being used in the text. So that's something you want to be careful about. And the keywords should appear in the first and last sentence of the post, or first sentence and at least in the last paragraph of the post. And again, I'll demonstrate in post tags. I'll talk about that, you know, because I can't really explain it without showing you. And also the keywords. If you want to be really you want to be really sure that keyword knows that this is what the keyword you're trying to rank for, then what you want to do is that you want to bold the keywords. You want to also italicize the keywords, and then you also want to underline the keywords. Okay, so basically what you're going to do is you're going to go through and in one instance bold, another instance italicize, another instance underline. Don't do it all once. Okay, don't bold, italicize, and underline the keywords. You want to mix it up. Okay, and then another critical aspect is that there's a link that contains the keywords. Okay, and I am going to show you give you a demonstration of exactly everything I'm talking about, because I prepared a blog post, with all these elements in them. All right. This is getting further along into the training than what is. So I'm going to get off of my PowerPoint and then go to. Okay. So here is a post that I put on, that I recently created on my blog. Okay, so and it is about search engine optimization. Okay, and the keyword that I was trying to rank for is specifically how to search engine optimization. Okay, and I prepared this post just for the purposes of demonstration, so it's really dorky. It's the syntax is weird, and I understand that. Okay, I'm not a bad writer. I know that the syntax is weird, but I was just trying to demonstrate that trying to match up exactly to the keyword, and of course this keyword is this: how to search engine optimization. Okay, so you notice this on my title. Okay, and then there's an image. Okay, and the alt contains the keywords, and then here's a header. Okay, and I made it more interesting, but the bottom line is that it contains the keywords how to search engine optimization. Okay, and then the first paragraph has a sentence, and it contains the keywords how to search engine optimization, and in this instance I bolded it. Okay, and then a link. Okay, I have a link here, and it contains, when you hover over it, the keywords how to search engine optimization. And then you also have a link. I also, to be on the safe side, had a link here. Okay, so again, that's another header, another link, and this is not a super long post. It's about 800 words, but I didn't use it a lot. And then here that my last paragraph I included, I italicized it. Okay, so the whole purpose of this post is to demonstrate on-page optimization, so that you know exactly what it is, and that is pretty much it. If you follow these very simple ideas and don't go crazy with them, then chances are that you're going to find yourself on the first page of a Google search, and that's pretty much it. That if you get this right, let me just say this: if you get on-page optimization right, then everything else you do to help you rank, and that includes backlinks, and that includes social messages, and I'll talk about that on another topic, you're going to be 10 times better off. Okay, if you get this right. All right, so this is really important if you are interested in becoming a marketer, to understand this, because sooner or later you're going to have to learn how to do this, and better sooner, because if you're producing content online, either YouTube videos or blog posts, and it is not being optimized, then you're just really wasting your time. I'm just gonna be blunt about it. You are wasting your time if you're not optimizing it, and if it's not appearing on the first page. And if it's not appearing on the first page, then you have failed. Okay, that's it. No buts about it. So anyway, I hope that this video has been helpful to you. My name is Kwa, and I'm here to help you break through. I'll talk to you later.